What's good, guys? What's going on? Um, Making this video today to talk about these shippers and receivers out here. How they ain't got no respect for us drivers out here. Not all of them, but some of them. Now, I've been picking up at this place for it's like my fourth or fifth time I picked up there. Um, it's in Norton, Massachusetts. It's Home Market Foods. So the first time I went there, I got there and I got loaded within an hour. All the other times after that, one time it took me 15 to 16 hours there to get loaded. Another time it was like 7, 8 hours. This time it was over 5 hours to get loaded. But this last time, I get there on time for my appointment. My appointment was at 1 o'clock. I get there at 12:45. I check in. The guy in the receiving office tells me your load ain't finished being picked yet. Go up there to the top of the lot and wait. Turn the reefer unit off because the neighbors complain about the reefer noise, which things they always say when I go there. So I'm like, okay. So I go up there. I park my reefer unit already off because I turned it off because before I even got there because I knew I didn't need it on until it was time for me to get loaded. Um, I'm sitting up there. It 3 o'clock hit. So I say, let me go down here and check and see how much longer it's going to be for them to get me loaded because I got a 7 stop load and I want to make sure I'm on time for my appointment for my loads because I got to deliver to like McCain and UNFI and PFG and stuff like that or whatever. And you know how, especially UNFI is with them appointment times. If you miss it, they'll make you wait a day or a couple days. So I go back down there to the office. Now, mind you, when I first got there, it was two WFX trucks there waiting to be loaded already. So before I went down to the office at 3 o'clock to check to see how long it was going to be for them to get me in the door, those two trucks had already got put indoors. And one of them, when I was walking down there to check on my time, one of them was talking to another WFX driver that just came in a long nose Peterbilt. Um, and he was getting ready, and he just checked in or whatever, but he was late for his appointment at the time. I didn't know that. So I go to the office. I ask the guy, I say, I'm just checking on the ETA on the load to see how long it's going to be before I get loaded. He tells me they got 3 more boxes to scan in or whatever to add to your load, and then I'll get you to a door and get you loaded. So I'm like, okay, walk back up to the truck. Get back up to the truck. I'm sitting there scrolling on my phone, passing time and stuff like that. Before I know it, it's 5 o'clock, so another 2 hours then pass. I look over, and the WFS truck that I told y'all that had came in when I was walking back down there to the door, or whatever. They calls him and sends him to a door. So I'm like, what's going on or whatever. So I go down there. I ask the guy again. I say, I'm just checking on the ETA to see how long it's gonna be before I get loaded. So he tells me, I only got one loader, and it's gonna be a couple. Well, no, he said I only got one loader, and I just put a truck in the door in the back or whatever. I only got one dock working back there, or whatever. He said, now this is what he said. One dock was working back there, or whatever, and it's gonna be a couple hours before I can get you to a door. So I say, no. He say, and the guy that I just put in the door, his appointment was before yours, and he got here before you. Now, mind you, I told y'all he had just got there at 3 o'clock when I was walking back down to the door. I was there at 12:45. So if his appointment was before mine was at 1. Let's just say his was at 12:30. He gets there at 3. What is he? 3.5 hours late for his appointment, right? So now remind you, he tells me that he was here before me, and his appointment was before mine. His appointment might have been before mine, but he wasn't here before me. So I started to walk out, and I wasn't gonna say nothing about it at first or whatever. But then I'm like, no. I turn back around and I go back in. I said, so you say the guy that you just put in the door, his appointment was before mine, and he was here before me? And he was like, yeah. So I said, no, he wasn't here before me. He got here at 3, and I was here at 12:45. My appointment was at 1 or whatever. So then he gonna turn around and say, well, I'm just doing what the high ups tell me to do or whatever. But you just told me that his appointment was before mine, and he got here before me. So now when I call you on it, you saying something different. So I'm like, okay. It wasn't too much I can do about it. I go back up to the truck, and I'm pissed, but I'm sitting there waiting. So another hour go by. He calls me and says, um, he called the courier name or whatever. And he was like, "You still here? You still want a door? You didn't leave, did you?" Just that, like being sarcastic or whatever, like that or whatever. So, and he said, "I finally got another loader, and you can go back to door 7." Now, door 7 is in the back, where he said there was only one door working back there, too. So he just lied all around the board. So, long story short on that, I get a door and get loaded and get out of there. But I sat there from 1 o'clock. I didn't leave until, I want to say it was not. Yeah, it was 9 o'clock when I left. So I sat there for 7 hours to get loaded when I could have gotten a door. I still probably would have been there till 9 o'clock, but it's just the principle of you lied to me and you put somebody in front of me that you know was late for their appointment and wasn't there before I was, and then you lied all the way around the board. When I call you on it, you want to tell me something different than what you said the first time. It's crazy how they want you to be on time for your appointment. If you ain't on time for your appointment, then they want to give you a whole runaround, or you're gonna have to be at work in. I don't know how long it's gonna be, or we can't load you today. You're gonna have to come back tomorrow. But if you're on time for your appointment, they still play games with you. Make that make sense. Um, it's just a bunch of bull crap, man. And it's not all shippers, but this don't happen to me a lot, but that I know of, that I've caught anyway. But and like I said, I've loaded there before, so I'm wondering now how many times before has he done that to me? Put somebody in front of me that got there after I did, and um, you know, loaded them or whatever before I loaded me before I got loaded. You know, it's crazy. You know, do your job, do it the way you're supposed to do it or whatever. Be fair and just. I'm here on time for my appointment. I got 7 stop load that I need to be on time for my deliveries or whatever. And the quicker I can get in and get out, that's how fast I'm trying to get in and get out. I'm not trying to wait around, and I'm not trying to be skipped over because one of your buddies came in or somebody slid you a couple dollars. Like, go ahead and get me loaded if early as you can or whatever, and you want to put somebody in front of me. And I'm not saying somebody slid him a couple dollars. I don't know why he did what he did. I'm assuming that's what that happened. But it just pissed me off or whatever. I'm like, man, that's crazy. But that's pretty much it. I just wanted to get that off my chest. But that was Home Market Foods in Norton, Massachusetts. So if y'all ever go there, prepare for the foolery. And they long winded too, because you can be there for hours. I mean, you can be there for over 15. I was there for over 15 hours a time before. So they don't care about your time. I ain't, and it seemed like they shorthanded every time you go in there. They always talking about they only got one loader or they don't have enough loaders or your order still being picked. And I think they pick your order when you get there because every time I go there, I gotta wait for my order to be picked. And then I'm thinking they got when they picking it, they stacking the pallets as they go. It ain't just picking the pallets and lining them up in front of the doors or whatever. It's actually picking the product, putting them on pallets. But that's it. I just had to get that off my chest. I'm out.